Okay, picture this. The date was perfect, conversation is nice, that was flowing, there was like a real connection between the two of you, like the perfect date. Then you go back home, you're happy, you're like, oh, it does not happen that often. You start to text your friend being like, oh, I met that person that was like really, really nice. And then nothing. They disappear. And now you start to get crazy and be like, okay, what I've done wrong. You start to replay like the whole night and trying to find the thing that might have like turned them off or something you did wrong, because why would they disappear after a, such good date? I have an answer for you and you will see this is not the one you think about. So let's talk about like why the best dates are sometimes the one that people run away from. Okay, I want to make it clear from the very beginning of this video. If a date went well, objectively, and you think that was nice conversation and everything, and they disappear, you just dodge a bullet. Like, remember that this is really important. You just dodge a bullet. What I mean by that is that you did nothing wrong. Don't start to like overthink or whatever. You did great. What I mean by that is that something that people don't realize. If you go into a first date that is like really, really nice, what happens is that it raises the stakes. You might not realize that because for you, it went well, everything was perfect, and you were like, oh, it does not happen often. And yes, that's the same for the other person. It does not happen often that a date goes like that well, that everything's nice. What does that mean? It means that usually a date is kind of like okay-ish, let's say. So the date is okay-ish, but the one you just had is like really, really nice, which means that again, the stakes are like higher. What does that mean? That means for like the other person that is most likely avoidant, that's too much. You did too good. Like you passed the test, but like too good. But you will tell me, okay, if I pass the test, like why, how can it be like too good? If it's too good, they should be happy. But no, because now what it means for those people, it means that it's something that is important, that this is not something like low energy. You know, this is not something that they don't really care about because it was like too well. Yeah, you connected like too well. So it's kind of like scary for them. It's like, okay, it means that you already kind of like reach a step that they did not expect it to reach at that point. They might be like, okay, we're just gonna go in the first date, we'll see the second one, the third one. And as I said, like this happened most likely with avoidant people. So at some point, at first, they're like really, really nice until they becomes avoidant. But they becomes avoidant because you start to getting close to each other. You start to like share things together. So what happened is that this moment when you start to get close and etc. and it match, literally happened in the first date. So they're just being like, that's too much, I'm out. So they just like disappear. And this is the main reason. So again, you have to know that it's not because of you or because of something that you've done wrong. It's just about the other person and how they perceive things. So this is what I mean by like you dodge a bullet, because if this happened in the first date, you avoided this happened after 3-5 dates. Or maybe you start to like actually go into a relationship and then after 3 months you realize that they avoided and they just leave. So you saved that time. Still, there is the possibility that they are not necessarily avoided. And the other possibility is that it happened too well from your point of view, but it did not happen that well on their point of view. And you have to be honest with that possibility. But that still does not mean that you did something wrong. It just means that you were not aligned on some things. Maybe you thought that it was going well, the conversation was going like very well, but maybe on their side, they're pretending like to like what you were saying or other stuff, when actually they did not really agree with everything. But they did not really say it. They just after that were like, okay, I did not really like this conversation, when you actually like this conversation, which means that either like they pretended to like, or either they were not really themselves, or they were trying to perform. They could have like many reasons that explain that something went really well for you and not that well for the other partner, which will explain why they will not try to come back to you or like text to you or like want to go on another date. But again, in both scenarios, either they're like just avoidant or either it did not went as well for them than for you. This is not your fault. This is the one thing you have to remember from this video. This is not your fault. Don't start to like spiral to be like, what I've done wrong, like what should I change? Because if you start to go into that route, you will start to change yourself or like behave differently on your next date with like other people, and you will not be yourself. Like the one thing I always repeat, be yourself. Just be yourself, and you will see if that match with people. There is like so many people on this planet. You don't have to change yourself for someone, or because like you went into a date and you were yourself and that scares like some people. If they went away, that's their reason. This is not your reason. So this is not a reason for you to change who you are or how you behave. The one thing also you should avoid doing in that specific case is chasing that person. If you go on the first date, they don't reply to messages, you don't go on the second date, you don't have like any news for like, let's say 1-2 days, you may start to think, well, let me try to send another message. Let me try to kind of like get back to them. Like, let me try to chase them. Please don't do that. Like, if someone does not get back to you, they have their own reason. And again, it has nothing to do with you, but don't start to spend your energy, your time trying to get them back. Like, you cannot force someone into a relationship. You have to understand that a relationship is something that two people put energy into. So if you start to chasing someone, this is 100% your energy trying to bring them back. Again, just focus on yourself and don't try again to like reinvent yourself, to be like, okay, I should maybe change that for my next date. And we should maybe change that for the next person, because maybe this is the reason they left. Maybe I talked about that and they were not happy, so I should not talk about that into the first date. Again, don't do that. Don't try to chase the person, because if they actually wanted to contact you, they will do it. You have to understand another thing. We do what we want to do. So if someone actually want to talk to you, see you, contact you, they will do it. They will not need you to force them to do it. So if they don't, that's the answer you need. So yeah, the one thing to remember from this video, now you know, if a date goes perfectly and you don't hear about like your partner after that, this is not your fault. There is maybe like 2 reasons about that, but don't bother too much. Just stay yourself. This is fine. This is things that happen. You just have to tell yourself you did too good, and that's fine. Continue to do too good on your next date until you find the right person for you. If this video was somehow helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. I see you soon for another one, and until then, take care and drink your water.